Fuck Philly.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Bing bong.
All right. What's up, everyone? It is a Thursday. It is hot everywhere. It is hot. Mike and I are currently dying from smoke from the cold Canadian wildfire. Frankie, has it reached out to New York yet?
No, it hasn't.
That's because the East Coast sucks.
I'm actually northeast, sir, but more north.
You have sucked.
Yeah, you
I have
sucked.
sucked. That's
Just
fine.
it
wouldn't be the first time.
I just came from Philly, and there was no smoke, but it was just hot for no reason. And I swear, people in Philly don't believe in AC. They don't. They don't believe in AC.
That's why Joel Embiid gets cooked in the playoffs all year.
That's why they always get cooked.
Super hot.
Like Doc Rivers stayed on a hot seat because the seat never stopped being hot.
The Phillies are cooking the Cubs right now, though, so I'm going to shut my mouth. But, yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, speaking of hot, and because we got Frankie on here, because he is a diehard Patriots fan, we're going to start with some NFL talk, because Robert Kraft came out and said that he is looking for that 7th Super Bowl. So, Frankie, I'm going to toss a question to you first, good sir. Is Bill Belichick on the hot seat as it stands right now? Because let's be honest, and this isn't really a shot at the Patriots. You know, if we're just being totally unbiased, the Patriots have been mid ever since Tom Brady left.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree with you. It's really hard for me to say if Bill Belichick will be on the hot seat. I do believe that Robert Kraft is starting to get tired of this unsuccessful getting to the playoffs or actually winning in the playoffs post Tom Brady era. Mac Jones had a great year. His rookie year got us to the playoffs, but we lost. But since then, we haven't been to the playoffs with Cam Newton, with Mac Jones' his second year. It's been really, really rough since the post-Tom Brady era. But I think Bill Belichick, he's finally opened his eyes. He opened his ears. He heard what Robert Kraft had to say, brought in, Bill O'Brien, because Robert Kraft threw his words out to Bill Belichick and said, we need to turn this around. We need to get an actual coordinator in here and get someone that can actually run this offense. So he getting in Bill O'Brien back and then doing okay in the NFL draft this last month. I don't want to say he did great because we didn't get a wide receiver until about like the 6th round or something like that. But he did great in the first round getting Christian Gonzalez and bumping up that defense because he does have to face off against really tough offense there in the AFC East with Miami, Buffalo, and also the New York Jets now.
Man, wait, I'm cutting you off. I want to say how much Tony and I appreciate you for naming the Jets last. You didn't have to do that, sir.
That's true. That's true.
Those little small little moments to why I love Frankie so.
Because Frankie knows. Frankie knows.
Yeah, I absolutely hate the Jets like with a passion. I really do. I don't like the New York Jets. I don't like the New York Giants either, and I'm from New York, so
there's one thing I love about the New York Jets. You remember Baby Daddy or Big Daddy, was it, with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
The Hooters girl walks in. She's got the big melon. She goes, "Who are you rooting for, sweetie?" And he goes, "The goddamn Jets." And you're just like, wow. Wow.
No, but yeah, man, he had to bump up that defense just because, he sees the offense that he's got to go up against in the AFC East. And I think he did a great job there. And then, he did good in the offense, bringing in Juju Smith-Schuster to fill in the Jacoby Myers after Jacoby went and signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. He brought in Mike Gesicki, a really good tight end from Miami. And I actually liked Mike Gesicki when he was in Miami. I always told my wife, because she's a Miami Dolphin fan, I always told my wife, if this man was to ever be in the New England Patriot uniform, I will be so excited. And then all of a sudden he ends up signing with us. So I feel like that is a much improved compared to Jonnu Smith, who didn't show up at all after signing a mega
So-
contract with the Patriots. That's a bump up, and now being in rumors as the front runner to bring in DeAndre Hopkins.
And that was something, Frankie, I want to ask you, because Frankie or Tony and I have kind of like we've been joking about it on the side, not about you, just about like Patriots fans in general. What's going on? Because we've seen D-Hop in the facility, we've seen him with Kraft, we've seen him with Belichick, we've seen him with the team in the locker room. He even had his name on one of the locker room, obviously lockers. He had a jersey on, and then immediately after that, silence. Nothing, no contract. So,
well,
for you, what's going on with that, and why do you think there's been such a delay in conversations?
Well, if you really look at it, like DeAndre Hopkins is a top wide receiver name. He's a top player. He's a top caliber player at that.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to, he don't want to rush it, and I've been hearing around that he's waiting until probably before training
It's
camp
July.
opens up. No, but training camp don't start until the end of July. That's when training camp actually starts. And that's what he's waiting for. He's waiting for it to get closer to training camp. And it's really odd because all these teams have been coming out, and they have all been slowly saying we're not interested. We're not going to interview him. The Cowboys, the Browns, all these people, they didn't want him. And the only people that came out was the Patriots and the Titans. So he only had 2 visits from the Patriots and Titans. Right now, I feel like he's just sitting down. He's waiting. He's chilling. He doesn't have to rush it, and hopefully he's probably waiting if he can get a meeting with another contender team. I do know that he was favorably linked to both Buffalo and Kansas City. So I'm thinking he's just waiting to see if maybe one day one of them call them. But the GM in Buffalo already said that he feels the wide receiver corps that they got in Buffalo right now is already set and they're good. Plus, they don't have a high salary cap to bring him in. They really don't.
Are they good though? Are they good?
I don't think they're good.
With Diggs?
Listen, as a Patriot fan, I don't think they're good. I think Josh Allen only makes them look good.
No, I think they're a good group. But Tony, I'm gonna throw this one to you. Are the Bills good right now with the Stephon Diggs situation? Because if Gabriel Davis ends up being your number 1 wide receiver going into the preseason.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my point too for Buffalo when you look at Stephon Diggs, because you think about why did Stephon Diggs want out of Minnesota to start with anyway? He felt he wasn't getting the ball enough because it was him, it was Adam Thielen, and they were cooking on offense.
Right.
Now he goes to Buffalo, he's just been the guy. Really, that's all they've had. They've had Gabriel Davis, they've had Cole Beasley. They haven't really had a true number 2. So if they were to bring in D-Hop, it's like, okay, well, we're paying probably going to pay decent money for D-Hop. D-Hop's going to want the ball. And are you really going to be able to try to make Stephon Diggs happy with having another big name wide receiver there that's going to be competing for, potentially catches with that? Mm-hmm. Now, Frankie, here's the other thing that I asked you, and I'm glad that you brought up the salary cap part. New England just re-signed Devante Parker to a 3-year, $33 million deal, which I'm going to be honest, to me, that's a bit of a reach. Like he's not a bad wide receiver. He's really not. But when you saw him with like the Dolphins and then he was with the Patriots last year, he didn't really do anything like super spectacular, to be honest with you. So that's why I'm kind of like, that was a bit of a weird signing. Do you think that potentially plays into a factor with the D-Hop thing? Because, I mean, I wouldn't really consider Devante like a true number 2. I could consider him maybe like a 3 or like a gadget player. Like he works really well in the slot, but I don't see him being like a true number 2 receiver for him.
He reminds me of like a higher end Scotty Miller, if that makes sense. Like he has his moments and that's cool, but it's like, he's not going to be at this point in his career. I don't think he's not going to be that guy. I think he was a dog in Miami for a year or 2, but I think it was a very small sample size.
Yeah.
Let me just go out and say last year before going on the injured list, I think it was late in the season. He was actually playing phenomenal. Every catch that was getting thrown his way, he was not dropping the ball. He really wasn't. So I think Bill Belichick was looking at that and probably saying, well, if we can get D-Hop in here, which let me answer for you really quick first, by the way. I did read that Ian Rappaport said that even with this contract extension for Devante Parker, it has no effect on the potential signing of DeAndre Hopkins. Apparently, it makes a better move in the salary cap frame. We have about $4 million to close to $5 million in cap space. DeAndre Hopkins, I feel like he knows he's not going to get that much. But now it's signing with the Devante Parker. It just puts into mind that Bill Belichick is soon gonna let go of some type of player. I don't know who. I know it's gonna be a top player, probably like a Kendrick Bourne, which will piss me off because Kendrick Bourne he's a really nice bench player, and when he needs to come in and do something, he can do something. But Kendrick Bourne, since coming to the New England Patriots, he's been making a terrible name for himself. Fighting in joint practices and taunting during preseason games and stuff like that. Like Bill Belichick didn't like none of that. He actually suspended Kendrick Bourne for about 2 games or something like that. And I think Bill Belichick is going to move from Kendrick Bourne soon, and if he does, that's going to bring him more money on the salary cap to bring in DeAndre Hopkins. I think we will snag DeAndre Hopkins. I really do, and I'm not, I'm not hoping that it'd be really quickly because even he said himself that he's going to wait closer to training day. And if nobody interviews him by then, I already know that he's going to come to New England because he likes to play for Bill Belichick. He knows how to play well with Bill O'Brien, and we know the situation with the Houston Texans and them trading him away and stuff like that. But realistically, he's being side by side by Bill O'Brien, I think it'll work out.
Frankie.
Yo, what's up, Daddy?
I told Tony that this was gonna be my most professional episode of the afternoon show in a very long time. So I'm gonna disregard what you just said. But Tony, can I have a minute just to make a quick announcement?
Go for it, buddy.
It would just be so great if for 5 seconds, 5, muy poquito, very little, just 5, 5. I just need Chicago to have consistent weather for a day. I work at 6 tonight. It's going to rain and hail and lightning, and I have to walk in it because I work downtown. So got to take the train. Right now, currently talking to Tony, is a heat wave. Later, it's going to be a what is it? It's not a tsunami. I always forget what it's called.
What, a downpour?
No, it's like I don't even know what you would call it. It's something. But and then it's Smoke City all day long the last 2 days. So let me not inhale too hard because of my lungs right now from all the smoke. But man, I feel my kidney stones moving right now, dog. Like I need consistency.
Oof. They're gonna come out smoking out of Mike at this rate.
Not again.
All the smoke that's in the sky is the smoke coming out my blunt. Just whiff it and you'll be high.
Frankie remembers the last time I had a kidney stone on the air.
Oh my god.
But
whoa.
But Frankie, so I do have a couple other questions to your point about potentially signing D-Hop. So if Bill Belichick cuts Kendrick Bourne, really that alleviates you guys of really any speed that you guys really have at like a wide receiver or tight end position. Now, like you said, I like Gesicki. I think he's great. He doesn't have, and he is mobile, but he's not like the fastest guy. And I know they're not really looking for guys to go over the top all the time, but it's like, man, New England doesn't really have anybody that is going to get the ball and then go once they do catch it. And the other thing with that too is now since, Brady has left, and if you even go back even farther when Belichick was in charge of the Browns, he's about a 500 coach. Like, do you think now we're kind of seeing that a lot of their success was based off of Tom Brady, especially in the second half of his career? Like, I'll give credit to Bill the first half. It seems like he's trying to go back to, they're going to try to be very well coached and scheme a lot of teams out of wins and just be a very, I don't really want to say well-rounded team, but a very just scheme oriented and very, fluid team as far as trying to adapt. Do you think that's still going to work for the Patriots in today's NFL? Because the rest of the NFL is very offensive driven. And I know Bill's like, I'm still going to do things the old way, but that's kind of hard to do because you need great athletes on top of being very well coached and good schemes.
Yeah, no, I'm laughing at Dylan because I see his comments. Yeah, damn right I am, Dylan. Respect my gangster. No, but yeah, I listen. I've always said that Bill Belichick wouldn't win without Tom Brady. I've always said that. I feel like Tom Brady was the guy that, was running the offense really well, even, without when Josh McDaniels went and signed with the Denver Broncos to be their head coach, we were still winning games. So I feel like Tom Brady was the guy running the offense while Bill Belichick was just focusing and running the defense, because we all know Bill Belichick's a great defensive-minded coach. So like I've always said that. And now looking at it post Tom Brady, I had to agree with it. Like Bill Belichick doesn't look the same. Especially now, being this old, I feel like he's not even caring anymore. Really looking at it. I mean, if the man was really caring, he would have never put Mike Patricia at running the offense last year.
Yeah.
Like the man would have went out and he would have looked for an offensive coordinator. But no, he went out and got an offensive coordinator this year because freaking Robert Kraft came up in his ear and said, "Listen, we need to get somebody to run this offense."
He did what?
So
he took Bill to Robert's own massage parlor. We're gonna put it.
Yeah.
there.
He came up in his ear.
Yeah, he whispered in his ear real gently and said, "We need an offensive coordinator, Bill."
He whispered sweet nothings, and
So,
you're gonna be
like-
fired if you don't get an offensive coordinator.
And then Bill said, "I got Matt Patricia." I said, "What?"
No, and then and that's why I look at last year and it's just like it was an embarrassment last year, because when I look at Mac Jones his rookie year, he had a fantastic rookie year. The man went 10-6 and he went to the playoffs, and he went 10-6, went to the playoffs, and lost in the first round. Got it like crazy. Nice logo, Mike. He got eliminated crazy to the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round. But then coming last year, the man didn't have an actual offensive guy to call plays for him. You had Mike Patricia and Joe Judge, who, by the way, both just got fired from being head coach on two of the worst teams in NFL, in the Giants and the Lions. So, I mean, why would you have these two people come in and try and call offensive plays for Mac Jones after he just had a fantastic season with a fantastic rookie season with Josh McDaniels? I feel like now this time around, 3 years into the league, he should have experience. He has Bill O'Brien. He has some good key pieces around him. Maybe one more will solidify him great, kind of like DeAndre Hopkins coming in will solidify him being good. The defense I'm not worried about, and I remember Tony like last month or something, a couple weeks back, we were talking about this, and you told me the defense is where we need to focus more on, and not the offense or something. And I try to tell you, like, our defense is always is set. I feel like our defense is perfectly fine the way it is with Bill Belichick. What are you looking at me for? What are you looking like that for? Yeah, you're muted.
You're muted, buddy.
I dropped you by 40, and we were the worst team in the league. 40.
Okay.
With Chase Claypool. Actually,
Okay.
that was before Chase Claypool, but still even worse.
And what happened
Dante
after that?
Pettis. With that,
And what
there he
happened
is.
after that?
Another one. Another big gun. We dropped you by 40, dog. And you know
Hey.
what? The same night that happened, the Bulls beat the Boston Celtics. And I know because I was smoking that Boston pack all night long, baby. I woke up zooted. I woke up still high, baby. I woke up saying, "How you doing?" You feel me?
Mike, you're not being really professional today.
Yeah, I am. But you want to talk about having? You know what? I felt like that was pretty. I thought it was a funny little. I thought it was. Tony, what'd you think?
I mean,
there was no language. It was
that's true.
Listen,
I think that's
listen.
Mike's big thing. He's not cussing somebody out at the moment. That's a win for Mike.
Yeah.
Listen, there's times where good defense look horrible. There really is, and that defense looked horrible against you guys. But then again, it was our offense who looked worse. You can't sit there and say our offense didn't look worse.
Zappy, Mackey, McDaddy, McBrady, McGrady. I don't care. Bears by 40. You feel me?
And you know what's funny too is like I give it to Mike. Yeah, you guys beat us by 40 or whatever like that. But then again, that was the last one y'all got last season. Congratulations. Congratulations. It helped you get a first round pick. Congratulations.
Didn't even keep it.
Exactly.
Got DJ Moore.
But listen, I think we'll be fine. Honestly, I think we'll be fine.
Okay. Now, that's going to kind of lead me into.
Oh wait,
into,
Tony. Wait,
what's up,
is
Mike?
it okay? Is it okay if I throw one more at Frankie?
Go for it.
This was just one, just for nothing. Matt Patricia, offensive coordinator. Frankie, does that happen if Tom Brady's still in the building?
Hell no.
You think so?
Hell no.
Right. That's where I'm at.
Honestly, I don't think it does, but there's a point in me too that if Robert Kraft would have truly like shifted the power and looked at Bill and said, "Hey, Tommy is the one truly running this thing. Like this is his show." I feel like Tommy would have been like, "You know what? You could be the offensive coordinator. I'll make you look great. Don't worry about it."
And that's how I feel. I feel like it still would have happened. I think it would have just been one of those you don't even know that Matt Patricia's there kind of things. Like Matt Nagy right now is the offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs. So let's be real. No one's looking at Matt Nagy. It's
and let me tell you why I don't think it won't happen. Because I'll tell you the reason I think it won't happen. If Tom Brady would have stood there, Josh McDaniels would have never took a head coaching job at the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's true.
I could get down with that. Rob Scott, how are we feeling today?
I'm all good. How y'all feeling?
Are you good in the Are you good in the smoke, Rob?
He's got asthma.
Man, it's a bunch of smoke out here.
It wasn't funny. I was just saying.
No, it's just how quick you responded with that. You good with the smoke, Rob? He got asthma.
He's indoors with his.
I know my guy. I know my guy very well.
You know, I am. Never mind. I was about to say I am contributing to the smoke, but you know.
Hey, Rob looked at it and said, "I can't make it no worse. Let's do it."
Man, you already know what I said, Tony. I said I grew up sitting in the back seat of my dad's car while he blew Newports in my face. Like this ain't nothing, bro. I don't care, bro.
That's true.
I won't lie to you.
You born with a Newport in your hand.
Facts. But today it's like it's smoky and it's muggy outside. It's just nasty.
Yeah.
It's bipolar ass weather.
It looked like Frankie's room after a nice Friday night. Alone.
Is the beauty of the Midwest, baby. The weather changes every 5 seconds.
It's smoky.
Hey, I call it
muggy. It's smelly. Hey.
I call it the next 15. Tony, I always tell people, hey, if you don't like how this weather feels, give it about 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, it'll change. Don't worry about it.
Florida's about the next 5. I've been to Florida a couple of times. That just like it's pouring rain and then you're sunny.
Hey, Texas too, man. Texas, 1 week it'll be hot as hell. Next week it'll be freezing cold. I'm like, no, wait, what? No, I need consistency.
Tony, really quick, can you bring up your opinions on Philly one more time for the people who are just tuning in?
Oh, I said, and I quote, "Fuck Philly. Y'all need air conditioning. It's hot as my like. I'm gonna go on a rant for about like 10 seconds here. This blows my mind. We've been working all day on Saturday and Sunday. And we're like, you know what we need? We want to get some actual Philly cheesesteaks, like not none of the cheese whiz crap, like actual provolone, true Philly cheesesteak. Mm-hmm. So we go to this place. We're like, man, we're going to sit in here. It's going to be air conditioning. It's going to be nice. Tell me why it's like 90 degrees. There ain't no wind. It's humid. It's muggy. We go in this place. They have the door wide open. They got 3 ceiling fans on low, just spinning. I'm like, why don't y'all got AC? Oh, we don't want to pay for it. That sounds like a you problem. It's freaking hot.
Sounds like a you problem, really. And
then I go to fly out. We're on the runway. All the dude got to do is push the gas pedal, pull up on the handles. I don't know how they work the airplane. All he's got to do is go. They're like, no, we got to ground y'all because of the imminent weather. Stuck on a plane for 3 hours. Then they unload us, and then they just cancel the flight like 8 hours later. So I had to drive 10 and a half hours yesterday from Philly to get back home. So from a Cowboys fan perspective and a personal fan perspective, fuck Philly. And I mean that with all due disrespect.
Hey, and with Frankie the Yankee, Rob Scott, and Mike Hughes of Bullshit, we also stand with them. Fuck Philly. Facts. Joel Embiid, false MVP.
Facts. Rocky Balboa, fake person.
Okay, well, hold on. The only good thing. Hold on. That's not what we're gonna do here.
Rocky Balboa, fake person. He's a movie character. Stop lying.
The only good thing that ever came out of Philly is Rocky Balboa. But
that's true.
But he is a fake person. Tony, not to get off the rails with it, but I did run into someone a couple months ago who we were having a debate on who the best boxer was of all time. They thought Rocky Balboa was a real person.
No, they did not.
I swear. And At first I was waiting for like the funny, like the laugh, the funny ha, but it never came. And then they looked over at me in the debate and no one was saying anything. And they're like, Mike's Italian, he could tell you. And I was like, this fucking guy.
Fine. I'll say it first here. Then June 29th here on the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Bobby Boucher is the greatest football player of all time.
Bro,
Mama told me
is the greatest golf player of all time.
You remember when Bobby Boucher came back and helped the Mud Dogs win the Murray Bowl?
Sorry. Greatest club of all time, rookie of the 12-year-old.
Doug Glatt is the greatest goon in hockey history.
Man, that's actually a true story. But that is a true story. I know if you want to see a little shameless plug for the All Sports All Plays Network, there is an interview with Mike Hughes and the real Doug Glatt. If you scroll on the ASAP Network YouTube, you can find it right now. But stick around. Don't leave us, because if you leave us, Frankie will find you.
That's true. That's true. All right. We'll move on to our next topic that kind of goes pretty well hand in hand with our last one. And we talked about Bill Belichick, considered probably hands down one of the greatest football coaches of all time.
Sure.
But now we have a dude that's been around the league just about as long as Bill has. And to me, he's kind of moved into that new position of being the new best coach in the NFL. And that's Andy Reid.
Stop lying.
Stop lying.
Stop lying.
Like who?
Stop lying.
Like right now, currently, who would you put as the best coach in the NFL currently as it stands?
Oh,
right
obviously, no. Obviously, right now, yeah, you gotta say Andy Reid.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about all time. I'm not talking about all time. I'm talking about currently. No. That's
obviously. But let's be real, though. The man can't win without Pat. I mean, you had Donovan McNabb.
Okay. Hold on now.
I know, Bill Belichick. I know, and I just said.
I would like to bring
I just said 15 minutes
Cleveland?
ago. I just said 15 minutes ago that Bill Belichick wouldn't have been a champion without Tom Brady. I said that.
Cleveland. Hey, I'd like to ask the Cleveland Browns to join the call really quick and give their 2 cents on head coach Bill Belichick.
Well, Frankie, here's where I think Mike is going with this to add hopefully a little bit of clarity, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously Bill did not do great in Cleveland. But he went to the Jets and then he got traded to the Patriots, as we all know.
I'm sorry. Hey, who got traded to the Patriots, Tony?
Huh?
Who got traded?
Bill
Who got traded as a coach?
Well, that's because he quit on the Jets and they needed compensation. So that they didn't really trade him to get rid of him. They wanted compensation.
Yeah. Learn your history. Learn your history before you say something. You had Matt Nagy and couldn't even make 2 field goals. Shut up.
Listen, actually, we made all the field goals except one, and it just so happened to be the field goal. But I digress.
Right. It was 1 field goal kick on a double boink. Oh my
God. First of all, he made the first one.
And we lost to Philly too. Look how that comes back full circle.
Philly,
right?
Anyways. First of all, no, Tony, I'm gonna give it back to you, but free Cody Parkey, because he had 11 of those 15 points, or 12 of those 15 points by the Chicago Bears, and we're blaming Cody Parkey for Matt Nagy, Coach of the Year, Offensive Coach of the Year, who couldn't even give me 7 points.
Yeah, we're gonna blame your kicker.
I blame him.
Yeah, we're gonna blame your kicker. That's his job, is to make those important kicks, Mike. Come on,
dude, and it's your job to put points on the board.
All right, so I'm blaming both of them.
Okay, that's fine. But we're not going to sit here.
And the special teams head coaches are the special team coach as well.
Listen, I'll give you some special head. I mean, Tony, take it away.
Whoa.
Anyway, so can you really say that about Andy Reid, though, about not being as successful without Mahomes? Because I mean, you think about it. Even though he didn't win a chip with Philly or McNabb, he took him to multiple NFC championships. He took him to a Super Bowl where he lost to your Patriots. And I mean, he was great with Kansas City and Alex Smith. They just couldn't get over that hump until they got Pat.
And that was arguably because of Alex Smith. Like, Alex Smith just had his limitations. He reminds me of like a Jay Cutler kind of guy, of like hey, this could be your franchise guy, but there's limitations to how far you're going to go. You're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, like there's a seat. Like, you got to think about it. He once like coached the team to the AFC West into the playoffs with not a single wide receiver catching a touchdown pass. It was just running backs.
So I mean,
like he's a great coach, and he's been able to win without Pat. He just can't win the big one without Pat.
Isn't that important?
I mean, I don't know what do you consider important though? Like, I mean,
winning the whole entire thing, being world champions.
Because we talk about that a lot as far as like, you know, different types of GOAT conversations. You know, what goes into the title of being GOAT? Is it just rings? Is it records? Is it overall just the fact of like winning?
No, yeah, I'd say stats and rings honestly make you a GOAT. You need your stats and you need your rings.
Because I mean, he's got both. Like, even though he doesn't have as many rings as Belichick, he does have comparable stats that are just as good.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's just me. Do y'all have anybody else you could think of that right now in the NFL you guys would consider the best coach?
Yeah, Matt Nagy's absolutely amazing.
McCarthy is like a genius.
I'm sorry, who, Rob? Who? What? You said who?
McCarthy is a genius.
Of who? Who's he the head coach of?
I like McCarthy, right?
I like
them Cowboys.
Rob, we were friends, man. What happened? Why do you gotta take shots at me like that? that smoke getting you, to you, Rob.
Yeah,
both types of smoke is getting you right now.
It is.
Grab you inhaler. But
grab you inhaler.
I think quarterback coach of the Carolina Panthers, Josh McCown, is the greatest coach in all of football right now. I think it's just very young and premature, but I think he's going to be one of the best coaches in the league soon. I do. I truly do. I saw a little interaction with him and Bryce Young the other day. I think I sent it to Tony on TikTok, but I send Tony like 5,000 TikToks a day. And I rudely do not heart. I just got called out for this. I'm going to apologize. I watch every TikTok people send me. I don't heart them. Like I watch them and then like I'll talk to them about it later. But like someone called me out. I don't heart your TikTok. So I'm sorry if I don't. But yeah, me and Tony got a TikTok thing going on.
It's okay, buddy. You don't upset me if you don't heart my TikTok.
Oh, baby, it's all right. Because you know what I do for you. But
my God.
Exactly.
But no, yeah. In all seriousness, I think Andy Reid is the best coach in the NFL. Somebody on the up and coming, I think, is Brian Daboll. I think Brian Daboll is legit. I have always felt that way. Frankie knows I screamed that he needs to be the next coach of the Chicago Bears. That man looked like he eats a Mike Ditka sausage every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And he just looks like a Bears fan. He's overweight. He's got a weird mustache. He's got no hair. Like he looks like a typical Chicagoan. And I love it. And that's not a shot. That's love. Like it sounds like a horrible insult, but that's love, bro. And the energy that he brings is exactly what I think this organization would need. Instead, we went defense, and I think Josh Allen is probably majorly missing him, and I think that comes to a huge role of look how bad the Bills looked in the playoffs. I think that was such a huge part of that is Josh McDermott. I believe it's Sean McDermott. Is it Sean McDermott? Sean McDermott. See, it doesn't even matter. But that's really like from that perspective, even for Diggs, I'm sure Diggs is starting to feel that, and that comes with frustration as well. It's like now the load is just it went from schematically being great to all right, just throw Diggs the ball, and that's not enough. And I think right now you're looking at what they did with Daniel Jones and Saquon, who we were talking about at the beginning of last year on the ASAP network that Saquon might be done, and then he has a rejuvenating year. They trade Tony, they trade a bunch of other guys that aren't doing anything. Kenny Golladay hasn't done anything since 2019. Like
he's not even on the team anymore.
So yeah, they cut him finally.
Exactly. Like, but when he was there, they still made the playoffs, and they're still out here doing what they're doing. So I think, and mind you, made the playoffs even though a team in their division just went to the Super Bowl. Like that's not an easy task. It's easy when the Commanders suck and the Cowboys suck, but it's a tall order. Sorry, Tony.
Sorry, Tony. Hey, there was 3 teams in the NFC East that came out last year, and the Giants were third and still managed.
Yeah, but the Cowboys came out in a different way. Happy Pride Month. But it's something that I think. What happened?
Hey, Brokeback Mountain for a reason, buddy. Brokeback Mountain for a reason.
Oh my God!
What happened? You can't.
Where's Chris Gonzo when we need him?
Look,
here's Jay, the adult in the room.
Here's Jay. Don't say that. All I said was Happy Pride Month, but
that's true.
It is Happy Pride Month.
That's true. But what about you, Rob? Who do you consider the greatest coach right now in the NFL as it stands? Not all time, just currently. Who's the best coach?
No, I agree. It's Andy Reid. I mean, you say what you want about Andy Reid. You can have all the personnel in the world. We've seen coaches have everything handed to him and still not win the big one. So for him to be able to have all these players, especially players like Kelsey and Mahomes, and they still have that team concept and that team friendly feel, and they all understand their roles, I think that has a big part to do with the leadership. And it starts at the top with the coach.
Yeah. So that's actually going to kind of transition us into at least our third NFL topic and probably our last NFL topic for today is a man that was on the Patriots staff, became the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders last year. Turned out to be a total crap show as it did when he was with the Broncos. They got rid of Derek Carr. Jimmy G is the very handsome quarterback that may or may not actually be there for the start of it because he failed his way in, or it's like failing workouts or something like that as he's there in camp. So there's potential controversy. He may or may not be the quarterback there, but there's a big man there that is affected the most by this, and that's a gentleman by the name of Devante Adams. He wanted to go there to play with Derek Carr. Derek Carr is gone. He wanted out of Green Bay, even though he loved playing with Aaron Rodgers. To you guys, and I will give this to Frankie, I'll let you go first again. Do you think Devante should demand a trade to get out of Vegas to go potentially play with a competitor? And who do you think he should try to go to if he does?
My bad. My bad. We just had some breaking news that me and Mike were sharing with each other. The Patriots and linebackers Jawan Bentley have agreed to a new term on a contract extension. He gets 2 years, $18.75 max deal with a $9 million guarantee, which will still not affect the DeAndre Hopkins deal. Apologize.
It's so wrong. There's so many things wrong with what you just said.
Yeah, you know what? There's so many things
you know
wrong
what?
with
That's
this
why you got
world, but
Devontae
you know
Parker. That's why you got Devontae Parker. That right there. And you know what? I heard that D-Hop went to the Pats facility, and then it said the wrong name. It said Devontae Hopkins on the locker, and he said, I'm not coming back. And that's why. That's exactly why there's been issues. But Tony, now we know.
I can't wait for DeAndre Hopkins to sign with the Patriots, and then I come back with you, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, man, you've been saying that for a while now. Congratulations, Frank. I'm with you, brother." And I'll be like, "Nah. Let's go back to June 29th.
I can't wait. I can't wait till Ryan Poles picks up D-Hop and he joins the Chicago Bears.
Frankie's gonna have that. Frankie's gonna have that LA night energy. He's just gonna come back. Nah.
Frankie's laughing, but Tony and I just talked about this the other day. The Bears still have $40 million in cap space.
The most at any team.
If I want to screw you over and just give D-Hop a 1 year, $40 million deal, I can. I can and I will. And you know what the funny part is? I'll put him on the practice squad. That's to piss you off. I won't even use him.
And then right as they feel the Patriots try to grab him or sniff a little bit, they're gonna be like, nah, we pulled him up to the active roster. He's gonna be on the 53 man.
Put him at corner. See what happens.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If DeAndre Hopkins signs a 1 year, $40 million deal just to be on the practice squad of the Bears, I swear to God, I'm buying a Bears jersey and I'm just yelling out, "The Bears!"
The Bears.
The Bears.
Dude, money talks, bro.
DeAndre Hopkins
Frankie,
is never going to go.
Do you think Devante Adams should demand a trade?
Who the fuck is that?
What the hell did he come from? Who is that?
That'd be Nate.
Nathaniel?
What?
Where are you, man?
Hold on a second.
Disappeared like Jokic after the finals. Where is he? That man got back on the plane and will never be seen again.
My man over there breeding his sheeps. Leave him alone.
Where is he's riding his horses? Where's Nate? Is he still
there?
here?
We go.
Nate, I would like to know why you think that the Patriots aren't getting D-Hop.
Nice glasses, Nate. I'm rocking with him.
Nice haircut, by the way.
Because of one person and one person only, and that's Bill O'Brien.
Facts. That's a valid reason. That is.
Do you think he still has beef with him for trading him for a bag of half bag of open Lays and 2 peanuts?
I would have mad beef.
Yes, but I don't. I feel like he still has beef with him for doing that, but I don't feel like that trade is as crazy as people have made it out to be. now, looking at it now.
Nate, let me ask you this. Nate. When D-Hop went to visit the Patriots, did he go there to visit with Bill O'Brien or did he go there to visit with Bill Belichick?
Why did he not come back? Answer that too, Nate.
Mike, we already talked about that, sir.
Bill O'Brien's why he didn't come back. Nate, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
Yeah, the same way D-Rose didn't go back to Chicago.
To be honest, Mike, you actually answered. You were going to give me that. I was going to give that same answer.
You good, Mike?
I brought out D-Rose and hit him in the heart. I brought out D-Rose and he got hurt. D-Rose a free agent. He could come back home to Chicago and he's about to decide not to.
Man, leave D-Rose out of that.
Play with your mama, not with me, man.
D-Rose about to sign with Phoenix just to lose with KD.
I'd be so hurt. I'd be hurt.
And hey, potentially Kyrie's trying to flirt with Phoenix a little bit. They're not going to have any bench, but they're going to have 4 megastars out of a 5-star lineup.
I'm going to be real. If they could all stay healthy, not to get off topic, but if they could all stay healthy, I don't think it would matter. If they could add Kyrie, like let's say like just for
bro, they all stay healthy and
right,
they added Kyrie, they'll still be a first-round exit.
I don't think so. Because if you could sign Kyrie to a minimum, right? And let's say for whatever reason he's like, fuck it, like I'll go get my bag after this year. I'm gonna win a chip this year. If they had that starting 5, it's crazy.
Ain't enough basketball to go around, bro.
If Phoenix goes and signs Kyrie, I'm gonna rename my nickname in every single ASAP group chat to Nuggets and 4 because there's no way they're getting past us.
They're not getting past whoever. They're not getting past the team.
Way too much.
Now, Rob, would they be able to get past the Clippers?
No.
If the Clippers,
I don't even know who's going to be on the Clippers.
Exactly.
Oh, if the Clippers are healthy, yeah. And if you know what, and if I just didn't leave the classroom as soon as class started, I would have been a college graduate last day. But
I helped Rob open his eyes to see the true KD. That's what's going on. That's what's going on with Rob. He opened his eyes and he followed me into the lightness of how
what it was?
KD is.
Frankie was preaching the word, and I used to fight it. Like, man, you know what? KD is clutch, and And then I looked at KD, and I'm like, Frankie's right. He's right. Like, he looks good when everything is right.
Right.
But if you said, KD, I need you to lead my team to the promised land, can't do it.
Somebody's plane is leaving in the background, by the way.
Yeah, according to Alexa.
That's Tony trying to leave Philly. He's still in Philly.
I'm not. I was out of that city as of yesterday. As with the theme, fuck Philly.
On God.
Nah, that's Nate over there with Jokic. Gotta come back home to America, Nate.
Just trying to find out where Jokic is right now. No one knows. No one's heard of him. He turned his phone off.
But he changed his phone number. He said, new number, who dis?
And then Dylan's in the comments. Dylan said, Son's got to get
on a serious note, my mom was trying to remind
what?
On a serious note, my mom was trying to remind my brother to go to tennis.
That was Alexa telling. That's how that works. Oh, dude, I would throw that.
Jay Nessa will call Dwight Howard or Jimmy Fredette if they get Kyrie. What?
I think Dwight would do it. I definitely think Dwight would do it. I think you could bring. You know what they could do? And Tony and Rob and I discussed it with Cube the other day. It was, you want guys who are out of the league and shouldn't be out of the league. If they brought in Kyrie, you could see Isaiah Thomas. You could see guys like Mario Chalmers, Ryan Hollins come back. And it wouldn't be because they're talented. It would be because the Suns have no other choice than to pay these guys $10,000 to play basketball.
And then
I think the minimum is like what, Tony? $800,000 you have to pay these guys?
I mean, if that's the case, can they just sign us? We'll be the backup 5.
I'll do it. Put me at the 2.
I'll do it.
I mean, I'm like 6'3". I mean, I got the height at least.
I don't, but I'll punch somebody for you. You need me to fall out. You need me to fall out. Hey, you want me to take out LeBron? Sorry, Frankie. Not trying to. I'll say a different
you
name.
good.
I'll say a different name. I'll say a different name. I'll say a different
Actually,
name.
Mike, go foul out Draymond.
Dude, no. He'll hit back. Draymond hits back. I saw him hit Jordan. I don't play with him.
I'll look at the coach and be like, well, you need 16 texts from me in one season. I got you. I'll do that for you in 3 games.
And Giannis shaved his head. Now he has a lineup. He looked like the young Chris Breezy. I'm not messing with him either.
Hey, Ruth said that she can play point guard.
Ruthie? Big Ruth?
Yeah.
The truth?
Yeah.
Oh, the truth?
Yeah. She said I could play point guard.
They had a great show last night on
Sports Sensei.
Yes. I forgot
Oh
that
my
was the name of it.
God, Mike. Oh my God.
I watch every one of them. It's always the All Sports All Plays Network, so that's where you can find it. But the Sports Senseis,
Man, look at that little save, that little slide in. He's not fully down, he just slid.
I tried.
Ruth is so mad at you right now. She's
Dude,
literally
Ruth probably is not fucking with me. But you know what? I do watch Ruth the Truth. I do watch The Moment of Truth. She's great at what she does. The part I don't is remember names. Tony and I used to do 7 shows a day, so I don't want to hear anything about anything. Me and Tony used to be on shows, and I didn't even know who was going to be there. Like, that's how crazy it was.
I don't think any of us did. We just threw in a link and people just joined.
Yeah, and sometimes people who weren't even on the show was on the show.
True.
But
that's okay, Mike. Ruth still loves you.
I hope so.
You guys want to see something funny that Ray Cruz said? He said, "Go Hornets."
Hey, now can we be real for a second? Even though MJ has not been a great owner, he like tripled his investment of when he first like bought into the Hornets and then he sold them. And
that's cool from a business perspective, but from a guy who wants to win, dude, that is the biggest L. Because not only I understand, Frankie and I have said this before about Jordan, especially. It's never about how you start, it's about how you finish. And the way you finished was skipping on Scoot Henderson, and you got Brandon Miller on your way out. You were like, yeah, I don't want to be here anymore, but let me mess this up one last time. Like, dude, like, and that's no disrespect to Brandon, but there's an argument going around that people think that Scoot should have been the number 1 overall pick. And if it wasn't that, Victor Wembanyama was literally a my player in 2K, which he's not even a my player in 2K because you can't even make somebody 7'5" in 2K. Like, it's they have to edit the fucking game for this kid. Seriously. If it was any other draft, this kid's the number 1 overall pick, and you picked neither. Yep. Like, it's kind of like, remember we were talking about the Bulls having the number 4 overall pick, Rob? And we were like, man, look who's here. Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman. We got Patrick Williams.
And the Chicago Bulls select Patrick Williams. Or what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Bench player from Florida, Patrick Williams. A guy who never started a single game. Number 4 overall. That's how I felt. That's so
hard to root for the Bulls nowadays.
But that's how the Hornets are feeling right now too. Oh, here's Miles Bridges. Cool. He's gonna do really well, and then beat the shit out of 20 people in the club. And then we're gonna extend him. Here's Gordon Hayward. His knee just exploded. Whoa! Like,
wait. So when are you guys signing Ball to like a max extension?
You don't. I don't think you can. I don't think you can.
They just gave it to.
They just gave it to Vucevic. Oh my God.
No, I think they meant LaMelo Ball.
No, I know what they mean.
Did you mean LaMelo Ball, Tony, or Lonzo?
He meant Lonzo. Yeah. He's taking a jab at you. Tony's taking a jab at you.
Tony, were you taking a jab at me?
Just a little bit at the Bulls, not at you, Mike. At the Bulls.
Tony, were you taking a jab at me?
Just a little bit.
$50 million.
Hey, where you at right now, dog?
Hey, that was for that pride comment with the Cowboys. I had to get you back a little bit.
Where you at right now, dog?
I'm back in Indianapolis. Roll on through, my boy.
Alexa, roll out.
Y'all gonna see Mike pop up here in about 2 hours.
He's about to run right through your door, right behind you. Hey, yo, what'd you say, Tony?
I didn't hear that correctly.
You see me come from the window. What the fuck was that? What? I got Gonzo and Pops with me too.
Language, sir. Language, sir.
Pops has the warrior paint on. Language. Don't make me get nasty.
Rob, he said the F word like 3-4 different times. Are you just saying language to him?
Like you haven't heard the theme of the show, Rob.
This title should be renamed to Beep Philly.
Fuck Philly. Tony said it first.
I
to
don't
be fair.
cuss, so that's
true.
fine.
I did.
You don't cuss, Nate? Nate, the Nuggets won a championship and you didn't cuss once?
I don't.
I'm going to get you to
Nope.
cuss. I'm going to get you to cuss. I'm going to get you to say some nasty stuff.
Let's see. It's year's 2023. I think I'm on a 16-year streak of not cussing.
When was the one time? When was like, what was it? Were you like 7 and like you were just having a bad day and you were just like, fuck Miss Cranberry? Like, you know, like you just weren't rocking with it?
I was like 5 and I was 5 and I repeated a word that I didn't know what it meant off of a television show.
Let's quickly do
And
the
I
math.
laughed at it.
I say, wait, mate.
Let's
That means you're
quickly do the
21.
math.
The math
He
ain't
was
math.
5 years old and he hasn't cursed in 16 years, y'all.
Yeah.
How
You're
old
20,
is Nate?
21. That means Nate
21.
can drink now.
Yeah.
That's what Nate went to go do when they won the championship.
Nope.
He finally went to the bar.
Nope.
Man, you better pray to God that the Bulls never win a championship. I'm going to go to jail, I promise. I'm going to be driving. Me and Rob Scott are going to be in the Hyundai going 50
Bro,
in a 10.
I'm not gonna front, yo. That's how I'm gonna feel the next time the Yankees win a World Series. I swear to God, I'm gonna be locked up. My wife's gonna have to have the money to let me out.
Thank God you're going to be really old when that happens.
Oh, congratulations, Frankie. Your guy did a no-hitter yesterday.
Oh yeah, Domingo Germán.
Not just a
Yeah.
no-hitter, a perfect
It was
game.
a perfect game, not a no hit. Yeah, it was a perfect game.
But Frankie, that goes in the same category. Like he still gets the
Nah,
no-hitter, doesn't
he gets a no hitter, but he goes as the 24th player in NBA and MLB history to do a perfect game.
he? But it also counts as both, doesn't it?
I think it does count as both, but nobody's looking at it as a no hitter.
But there were no.
But
hits.
I do think it is considered both. But just because he didn't give no walks,
Right.
it makes it a perfect game.
Right. No, yeah, and that's even like I would rather have a perfect game than a no-hitter, even though that literally contradicts itself because it's a no-hitter. But like what makes it perfect? There were no hits. But anyways, I don't know. Baseball.
No, what makes it perfect was there was no hits, there was no run, there was no walks. That's what makes it perfect.
Perfect.
He did everything. 27 up, 27 down. Perfectly.
Just like how many rings you guys have. 27 up, and now you're going down.
Exactly. 27 up. Don't worry about how many down, though.
A lot of downs. A lot of
Don't
downs.
worry. You know what? I could change Mike real quick. Yo, shout out to Anthony Rizzo for stopping that ball. That would have been extra base hits.
That's love, man. You know what's crazy? And because we're on that topic, and then Tony, where are we going after this, Tone?
They say we can either do the number 1 pick in the NHL draft or we can do NBA free agency.
Okay, for sure. I'll make mine really quick because then Frankie can continue talking about the Yankees. I think Anthony Rizzo has so many cool stories. He was the last, like, to get the outs to the NLCS to go to the World Series for the Cubs. He had the last out of the World Series to win the World Series with the Cubs. He's had no hitters where he's the last out. He catches the ball, obviously, because he's catching the ball at first base. And now he is the last out for a perfect game. I mean, the guy just ends. He's clutch. He's clutch. Not one drop. Not one drop, this guy. Paul Goldschmidt, whatever. This guy, Big Tone. This guy, Anthony Rizzo, baby. I mean, come on. How you doing? He's doing his thing in the
What you talking?
That was just racist, you fucking.
Yeah. Uh-huh. ¿Qué pasa?
I don't know what that one was. What language?
Say, that was Spanish.
La calle. That means the street. But anyways,
I'm not gonna talk much about the Yankees. If you guys want to hear me rant about the Yankees, you're gonna have to tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Unscripted. You can catch us on Unscripted and also here at the ASAP Network. That's when you'll hear me rant because we're doing a new segment. We're doing a new segment, and it's called "Talk About Your Home," and that's where each of us at the panel, myself, Jay McLovin, Logan Landers, and Chris Gonzo will be talking about our baseball team.
You almost called that man Lonzo.
I did because we were
I heard it.
I did because we were
The-
talking about Lonzo Ball about to
the-
get an extension with the Bulls.
Can I
The
can I
disc,
just
the
tell you guys how much I really love Unscripted? I really do. Everybody make sure they tune in.
That's true. It is a good show, but the disrespect Frankie just did to Gonzo.
No, I did it to Logan, not Gonzo.
Or he say just like Mike's gonna be here in a couple hours, busting through my door. Logan's gonna be doing the same thing to
Damn.
Frankie.
That's so crazy. Well, I do have one. Hold on, let me keep reading it.
Also,
Yeah.
before we go on, shut up, Mike. Domingo
Okay.
Herman became the first Dominican-born pitcher to throw a perfect game as well. Just to throw that into consideration as well, the first Dominican player. Booyah!
I got fired just now. By
From
the
what?
Chicago Cubs.
You're lying.
I swear to God. This is. Hi, Mike. Termination notice. Oh,
Dang,
wait.
you
What's
really
that?
did.
Hey, man. It was because I took off a lot of days to do CHGO and also the cube stuff. But you know what?
Hold on. You know what, Mike? I'll say it for you. Fuck them. You want to know why? Because they had my man outside in the smoke without even telling him it was smoky. My
That
man
is
over
dirty.
there getting lung
Man.
cancer.
Look at Rob.
What?
Look at Rob too swole.
Man, you know what the reality of the situation is for me? That is not a place to succeed. That is not a place to grow. The supervisors make 70 more cents than us, and we make $14. So I want to point out really quickly, fuck them. Because we chasing our dreams over here, and I want everybody who's just tuning in right now to hit that follow button because it will be greatly appreciated. And everything we're doing right now is going to the moon, and I'm really excited about it. Sometimes negative things are positive things, except unless you got that Magic Johnson. But, you know, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Tony.
Damn,
Bad,
they're paying
but
14. That's not even minimum wage. That's slave
No.
labor work right there.
I'll
That's
tell
crazy.
you what. With CHGO right now, I can't even talk about how much money I'm making in CHGO right now. But it's a great time. Definitely check out everything at the All Sports All Plays Network that we're doing because we are willing to sacrifice our jobs for your entertainment. That is a new advertisement that we can actually do. Completely fine with it. No issue whatsoever. Had an amazing time with Rob Scott. You can check out our Ice Cube interviews right now. Rob Scott got a picture with everybody in the facility, even the janitor. I mean, that man was making work and he was making
I think
connections.
I watched that one twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, fuck that shit. I will say this first and foremost. Nah, you know what? Because in case we ever do have coverage with the Cubs, I'm gonna wash my mouth on that one. But if we get disapproved, I will say what I had to say. But Tony, go ahead. My bad.
Well, Mike, I'm gonna hand it back to you because this was your idea for the topic as far as the number one pick in the NHL draft. I see his jersey back there with bettered.
Oh,
I unfortunately don't know hardly anything about hockey, buddy. So
Me
this is
That's
all
so
you.
clean. That jersey looks so clean. It looks so sad. It's like you got your jersey when he got his jersey. That's incredible.
Swear to God, I think I got mine first. But I mean, it was an amazing night. I got my boy Jonathan Tage right here. He's always sitting on my little stand. But it's an amazing time for Blackhawks hockey. You know, for the first time in a long time. I can't tell you about the NHL, but I could tell you about the Chicago Blackhawks, and that's something I've always been good at. It's been a shit show, for a lack of a better word. And I know we've been very inappropriate the last 10 plus minutes, and I apologize. But to be serious, Stan Bowman as a GM went from one of the most highly regarded general managers in hockey, led a dynasty. He inherited Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews, but he did the rest of the work for those 3 cups, and I won't discredit him for that. Artemi Panarin, one of the best players in hockey, has a rookie year like no other. This kid from Russia has a connection with Patrick Kane from Boston that nobody's ever had. And to me, you trade him away for Brandon Saad, the Saad father, babyface, Scarface, yet again, who's already been on the team. He's not as good as he used to be. You started to lose, and that was to save money. You start to really lose that Blackhawks mentality. The Blackhawks fans roll deep. Frankie knows the parades that we had from 10 to 13 to 15 were insane. They were deep. I mean, there were people falling off flagpoles that were 60 feet high. It's crazy. It's crazy. So to have all that happen Kyle Davidson takes over as the GM. Connor Bedard, somehow the balls fall right. The ping pong balls chose us. The lottery balls did their thing. We got the number 1 overall pick without even being the worst team in the league. We beat respectfully, Frankie, we beat the Bruins, who were one of the highest regarded teams in the league. Like we played solid hockey all year with guys who probably 70% of that roster probably won't be there within the next 3 to 5 years. But the minor league players that we have right now, one of the best farm systems, on top of a kid who's compared to Sidney Crosby, Patrick Kane, and so many others, I'm ecstatic about it. Like he's only 17, so I'm not going to put like him in that category of like, here's what you need to be. I'm not going to do that to him because that's unfair. But I'm very excited about the Connor Bedard era. The only thing, and I told Frankie this, I wish it came a year earlier because I would have loved Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews to be able to mentor this kid for a year. Obviously, they're both gone now. But I think that also benefits him at the same time because he can go into this knowing this is your show. Like, this isn't who you need to live up to be. This isn't the passing of a torch. This is, here's the key to this city. Good luck. Do whatever you want to do. If you want to make it Gotham City, be my guest. If you want to make it the greatest place in the world, be my guest. So that's really, it was a great experience, great night. And if you want to see the full video of me getting this customized, you can check it out on the All Sports All Plays Network.
I mean, we did trade you two veteran players that can probably, mentor him now.
Oh man, former number 1 overall pick, Taylor Hall. I mean that's, and let's be real, it might not be Taylor's fault to why he hasn't lived up to the hype. That might just be a change of scenery that he needs. And a part of it's probably him as well. But I think sometimes you just need to go to different places, or sometimes you figure it out after you get traded. Tony says it all the time. It's a very humbling experience when you think shit's sweet. You're the number 1 overall pick. Then you get traded to a different organization and maybe you start balling, or maybe you fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Because I mean, heck, look at Kyrie post LeBron. Like, what has he done?
No, literally.
Except look at KD. Look at KD post Golden State. What has he done?
That's true. That's true. So we kind of touched on it a little bit. Is there any big NBA free agents that you guys see? Is there anywhere you want them to go specifically that you think will do the best? So obviously Kyrie is interested in the Mavs and the Suns. I don't know. Like we already talked about the Suns. I don't know how that would even work, like cap space wise, because they're still going to have to get rid of Ayton unless they decide to keep Ayton and just roll with it. No. But Frankie, your team, the Lakers, because I heard this earlier and I want to get your thoughts on it. They're wanting to re-sign everybody. Rei Hachimura, Austin Reeves. Obviously, they want to re-sign D'Angelo Russell again. They want to re-sign. What was the fourth one that they had? Leonard, his last name. Or
what?
Willie? Anyway,
Willie. Who's Willie?
I don't know, dude. I'm trying to remember. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But y'all are basically wanting to re-sign everybody to try to run it back. Do you think it works now that everybody's going to know, who these kids are? Now they're going to be able to have basically a full offseason to basically scheme and plan against them. Do you think that works out well for the Lakers? Because they tried this last year with obviously the toxicity with Russ, AD, LeBron, all them. Do you think they managed to pull that off if they try to run it back with the same crew again? And this is hypothetically because obviously we don't know what LeBron is going to do. More likely, probably all agree LeBron's going to stay and he's going to stay with the Lakers. But do you think they can be successful if they do that?
They can. They really can. Do I want it? No. I honestly don't want it. There's only certain players that I want the Lakers to re-sign. Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Lonnie Walker, the fourth.
Lonnie Walker, that was it. That's where I was getting screwed. I was trying to put all them names together. That's what screwed me up.
My homie just called me. He said, "You just got fired." I'm like, "How do you know?"
And Lonnie Walker the fourth. Those 3 players are the only 3 players that I want the Lakers to re-sign. Everyone else,
Wait, who was it, Frankie? I missed it. I
want Austin Reeves,
AR,
Rui Hachimura,
solid,
and Lonnie Walker the fourth.
Solid.
Those are the only 3 players that I want the Lakers to re-sign. I did read up on them doing a potential sign and trade with D'Angelo Russell. Dennis Schroeder, I don't know if he's gonna return. I did like what he did defensively last year, but he had good defense, but he wasn't a good shooter. He was decent at some points, but I want a consistent like shooter, like someone that we don't have to worry about. Other players, the main thing I think the Lakers need to do is get a second big man, and that's what happened in 2020 in the bubble. Is like, and people people keep talking about it. That was the way we were able to beat Denver in 2020. The reason we couldn't beat Denver this time is because we didn't have a secondary big man to stop Jokic. I mean, Jokic was absolutely dominant. It was his year. It was Denver's year. Congratulations, Nate. You guys beasted this year, and you guys absolutely deserved it. But in 2020, it was different. He had Dwight Howard. He had JaVale McGee. He had two big men to back up AD that can stop Jokic from doing what he's doing. This year was different. You didn't have those big men. You had AD, and who you had behind him? Freaking, what's this guy's name? What the hell is his name? I forgot his name. He was a bum looking dude though. You have. I want them to keep Mo Bamba. Mike knows how much I like Mo Bamba. I love Mo Bamba.
No idea why.
Because he rides the bench perfectly. The other person they brought in, they signed in during the playoffs was Tristan Thompson, and I only know they did that because of the connection he has with LeBron James. He actually did play really well against Jokic in the Western Conference Finals. He really did. There was a game where I seen him, playing really well, and I'm like, damn. He came in the first quarter for Anthony Davis, and he just played absolutely good on Jokic. I'm like, where the hell did this come from, Tristan? And yeah, man. But like, other than that, I think that's the Lakers just need to get sign those three players that I named, and potentially get like one or two more big men to back up AD, and I think the Lakers will be fine. The rest of the players, I know they're keeping Jared Vanderbilt. I like that because without Jared Vanderbilt holding good defense on John Morant and Steph Curry, I don't think we would have played really well. So I like that they're gonna keep Jared Vanderbilt. Malik Beasley, when he got traded to the Lakers, he came out looking okay, and then he just disappeared. And then like he didn't even play for the Lakers at all in the postseason. Like he didn't get no minutes at all. So that's a guy that they need to get rid of as well. And just start bringing in some shooting talents. I don't know what's wrong with the Lakers and not bringing in shooting talents. They need to start doing that.
For sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it is interesting because obviously there's the whole skeptical, is LeBron going to retire? Is he going to stay? There's a lot of talks on depending on, what happens with Bronny after next year being at USC, who does Bronny go to? Because that's more likely who LeBron James is going to go to basically finish out his career. But I wanted to get your take because me, I always like to bust the Lakers balls, especially with, AD always getting hurt, but I'll give him credit. He was healthy just about 90% of last year, and he lived up to it. I hope for Lakers' sake and for him, he can keep that up. But I feel like that's going to be really hard for him to do because he played his absolute heart out last year. That's hard to do for 2 seasons in a row.
Blah, blah, blah. Most definitely.
AD. Man, there's nothing more I can say about AD. At this point, when people talk trash about AD, I just agree with them. There's no more fighting it. There really isn't.
Yeah.
And then what he did in the playoffs, just showing out every other game, it's tiring.
I love that. I love that shit, bro. I love that he's giving up. I love that he's tired. I love that he don't want to do it.
Frankie.
You know what I love? You know what I love? That Klay Thompson didn't show up at all against the Lakers. That's what I love. That's what I love.
4 of them. 4 of them.
That's what I love.
4 of them. 4 of them. Top 3 shooter of all time. AD. Top 3 glass man of all time. Top 3 what if of all time.
I say since I wasn't able to be on any of the shows for when it happened, and you guys probably already covered it, but Frankie, I just want to hear one more time because I know you were probably a big fan of it. What do y'all think of Chris Paul going to the Warriors? Does that make them better or not?
I gotta go. So I'll keep it short. I'll keep it brief. That move had nothing to do with. I heard what Curry said the other day. He loves Jordan. He wishes the world for him. He hopes it's a great opportunity. Woo, woo, woo. That's said all the right things. He said that Chris can help them win a championship right now. That's not it. What it was a max deal for a max deal. Jordan has 4 years left. Paul only has 1. So that way, going into 2025, if all the shit stinks. Klay Thompson will be off the books. Obviously, Chris Paul will be off the books. You can bring in potentially a guy like Joel Embiid if the process is getting tired of waiting for him. No, I'm so for real, Tony. Like, if you're tired of Joel Embiid as the Philadelphia 76ers organization, and it's fuck Philly, still is. But the process has been over 10 years now. So that's something that they're going to have to look at. At that point, it'll be over 10 years. And you have to look at it and say, what can we get for Joel Embiid? Because we need to rebuild. And that's something where if I'm the Golden State Warriors, here's Klay Thompson to make the money work. Here's a bunch of first-round picks. Here's Kuminga or whoever else you may want. And we can make that happen. And I think that's why they're clearing the books. They've also had conversations about Giannis. And, hey, let's be real, Tony, like you said. All they got to do is draft Bronny, and then you get Bron. Yeah. And that's the conversation of freeing up that money. So I got to go. I love you, Tony. Amazing host. Loved it. Loved every single second of it. Nate, you look spiffy. You look great. I love it. Go get yourself some girls, my boy. And Frankie.
What's up, Daddy?
I'm going to ruin it. Fuck you.
God, I love that man.
But Frankie, real quick, and then we'll end it. What's your thought on it? Because like to me, when Mike said that with Joel, like the Philly really hasn't made it work, but that's kind of been the other issue with Joel is the consistency. Like he's one of those regular season, he's fine, and then this man just disappears in the playoffs. Like he's just nowhere to be found. And if I'm the Warriors, especially once you get rid of Klay, if you potentially have Steph or you get rid of Steph, is that going to be enough to try to fix that?
I don't think just adding Chris Paul is going to make them, even better. They definitely, for one, need to try in some way, somehow bring back Draymond Green. If they don't bring back Draymond Green, they're definitely not contending for a championship. But adding Chris Paul, you got to go ahead.
Sorry, I think the reports is that's still pretty likely as he's going to come back. I think it's what we thought initially was going to happen with the Suns when they let Chris Paul go. They're doing it to like restructure the contract. I think. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I think that's the initial reports coming out is that he's going to re-sign with them.
Well, that's what I thought as well. Like I thought once they traded for Chris Paul and got rid of the Jordan Poole contract, that now they saved up money to go ahead and give Draymond Green what he is expected to make. So I do expect Draymond Green to return to Golden State. That's another person that like you don't want to let go because he's been there since day one. With Klay Thompson and with Stephen Curry, and like you want to keep those guys together for as long as you can, potentially even ending their careers together. Like that's something that you want to do. But adding Chris Paul to the mix, I don't think it works out really well. You got someone who's literally late in his age. He's still a great point guard, really is. I would never knock down how well Chris Paul is as a point guard. It's just his age and his health. Yeah. And like you said, Tony, it's kind of like Joel Embiid. The man is, he's there in the regular season. He does what he has to do. He gets you to the playoffs. He gets you as a high seed team if he needs, if you guys can be. But when the playoffs come, at some point in the playoffs, no matter if it's the first round, second round, Western Conference Finals, or Eastern Conference Final, or even the championship round, the man is going to end up getting hurt at one of these at one point or another. He's going to get hurt. We've seen it with the Houston Rockets. We've seen it with the LA Clippers. We've seen it with the Phoenix Suns. Like it's going to happen at some point with the Warriors. So I feel like the Warriors are taking a huge gamble on bringing Chris Paul, but if it works out for them, that's really well. I don't think it's going to. The thing is honestly I feel like Steve Kerr's, looking at Chris Paul like, listen, we're gonna help you get your ring before you leave. And I've been saying this since last year now. Once Chris Paul wins his ring, he's done. He's retiring. And if he doesn't win a ring within the next 2-3 years, he's gonna retire without a ring. He's got about 3 years left in him. And I said that last year. I said that last year. Now he's got 2 more. Now I'm giving him 2 more years. I feel like he's got 2 more years left in him before retiring, and that's with or without a ring. And that's why I feel like now he went to Golden State. He's looking at Golden State like, yeah, I feel like I can win a ring with this team.
Like I say, you give any more than me. I would say he maybe has like this 1 year with, to me, Golden State is probably going to be his last year to me. Because I mean, where else do you think he could potentially go with? I would say this level of talent and at least probably one of the most well-seasoned core champion groups you could be a part of. If you don't win, like that's probably going to be your last chance, unless you just want to be a player riding on the bench of like the Nuggets. I'm trying to think of anybody in the East, maybe Miami, because I mean Miami finds a way to just always get there,
or Boston,
or maybe even Boston. But it's like
Milwaukee. Like Chris Paul's gonna go to a contending team. He's not gonna go to a low down team. Like he's not gonna go back to Houston. He's not gonna go to Orlando. He's not gonna go to Indiana. Like he's gonna go to a contending team, and it doesn't matter if he's just riding the bench. If he goes to a contending team, it's just gonna show all of us that he's doing it to either win a ring or just have a farewell tour.
Yeah.
And if he has a farewell tour, Tony, I feel like he needs to go to Charlotte and do that.
You think so?
Yeah, he needs to go where his career started and have your farewell tour with the team that you started your career with. And honestly, when he was with Charlotte, he was absolutely a dog. That man was nice in his prime.
I say, I mean, he up until recently, honestly, he's been a dog and he's been great. And honestly, even though I don't know if he'll get the credit as much as he deserves, he elevated like every team he was a part of.
Yeah.
Like he got them to where it's like, okay, this team is potentially like contender. They've got a good culture now, but then Father Time's finally caught up with him. Nate, since you're the fan of the defending world champion Nuggets, what do you think about the whole Warriors getting CP3? Especially because I mean, looking at the West, your guys are going to have to deal with the Warriors. You have to deal with the Lakers coming back. You still have potentially Ja, at least for the third quarter of the season anyway.
I don't know what's going on with Ja. I don't. And I honestly, as for this season, I am agreeing with Mike Hughes. I don't really think that's going to do much for the Warriors. But I can actually see this being more of I could see why Chris Paul. How do I put this? I don't think this is going to do much for Warriors, but I can see why they made the move. Is where I'm trying to get. They want to be able to go and try to win a championship at least one more time. I don't think that's going to happen. Nuggets point inside, but I do think that I don't. My point is, I see where they're coming from getting Chris Paul, although I don't think that this was a very good move for the Warriors.
Okay. Well, I think that is going to be just about it. That's going to wrap it up for the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Appreciate everybody watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, and commenting. Appreciate Rob, Mike, Nate, and Frankie all being on here with me. I don't get to do these very often, so I am more than happy to be on here and host it with you guys. I appreciate it. Everybody, please tune in tomorrow. There will hopefully be another afternoon show going on tomorrow with Gonzo and the crew back. But please like, share, and subscribe, comment. Always let us know how we do, and we will catch y'all later.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're out in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.